Hi, I'm Candace. Today we're going to do an invitation to mobility. So for today's practice, just come on down to the mat, hop into something comfortable, have a blanket to sit on, blocks, and a strap. Anything will do. So I want to invite you to find a place to slow down, take a dignified posture, seated, close your eyes, relax your arms. Take a breath in through the nose with me. And then let that breath go with a sigh. Take a breath in through the nose. And let that breath go with a sigh. I want to invite you to notice what you are resting on. These first 5 or 10 minutes you could do in your office chair. You don't have to come all the way to the ground. This is an invitation to, instead of all of the doing, this is an invitation to being. Allow now there to be room for energy to flow. So draw your attention in and simply feel the space where you reside. Just scan the body. Slowly begin to synchronize the in-breath, the out-breath, that feeling of a sigh of relief with aligning the bones of the body, stacking them so that there are clear pathways from the root up to the crown and beyond. There is nothing to attain, nowhere else to be. You're already here. Let's drop one ear to the shoulder and then slowly drop the chin to the chest, recognizing along the way the slow, intentional micro movements. And then roll the head to the other side, so ear to shoulder. And then the chin back down to the chest. Other way, so ear to shoulder. And then head all the way back up. Slowly now begin to turn your head from side to side. But now begin to notice the in-breath, followed by the out-breath. Synchronizing the mind's movements to presence. As you're moving your head, allow there to be an access point, a place where the head is perfectly balanced. So moving your head slowly gives you the ability to notice when it is off balance and gives you the space and the mobility to change that. Come back to center and then open the eyes. Let's grab the strap. If you don't have a strap or you don't want to do a strap practice today, that's okay. If you have the strap, bring it into your hands and up overhead. So you can do this without the strap. And then slowly begin making a halo with the strap around your head. Now you can do this without the strap. What the strap does is it creates a feedback sensory loop. So again, close your eyes. Breathe in. Breathe out. And say, there is nothing to do. There is nothing to attain. I am already here. Keep the shoulders down. Don't let the flesh there ride up or crunch up. Stop. And then circle a halo the other way, slowly. Perfect. The goal of a yoga practice is to become mindful to this present moment in a friendly, non-judgmental way. Watch the in-breath. Feel the ujjayi, that's a whisper sound in your throat, on the out-breath. Stop, come up to center, and then begin leaning side to side. So if you don't have the strap, you might not want to keep your arms up overhead as long as this. In other words, your arms or your shoulders would be getting tired without the strap. The strap is actually a prop to ground you, to point you, to guide you into staying. So when I hand you something like a strap, and I say we're about to do a side stretch with the strap, that gives your anxious, busy mind something to do to keep you from the normal everyday distractions of a worried, busy mind. So now as you're inhaling, exhaling, cinch in the waist. So actively use the muscles around the waist to pull in and pull up the cylinder of the spine. Come back up to the top. I'm going to make my strap just a little bit longer and then go back and forth. So arms go back and behind you some amount and then up and forward. So if you have a big hairstyle, you may have to get longer arms to make sure you're clearing the hair. So then close your eyes. Maybe you open them, that's fine. And maintain the alignment of the cylinder of the spine so that the yama, the pathway, the nadi, the river of energy from the base of the spine to the crown of the head. So kind of look inward. What we're doing is trying to have an internal experience. Everything that happens, everything that you think happens, is really just a perception of the mind. And we draw in our senses from the outer world, we draw in data, and we create meaning. Pay attention to pull the navel to the spine. Pay attention to how the arms and the shoulders are interacting. And then we'll put the strap down. Okay, now we're going to begin moving. So now we're going to come down to the back. Slowly reorganize and situate. When you come down to the back, hug a knee to the chest. Take a slow, deep breath in. And exhale it out. Keep the back of the neck long by drawing the chin slightly down. Take your opposite hand to the outer knee and then pull the knee across the body and over gently, opening a space between the quadratus lumborum. Those are muscles in your low back and your side hip fascia. Fascia, unlike muscle, doesn't just release neurologically, it can contract, let's say willfully, but it can't release. An external force like a muscle, or in this case, our hand pushing down, can cause it to stretch. Let go, bring your hands to the floor, and then circle this knee around. Close your eyes. And go into the belly and imagine the belly is a place of churn, a place we really do want mobility. We really do want doing, action. It's okay if your hips are sort of rocking side to side with this churning motion. And then go the other way. Yoga is an invitation to being. So even though I keep giving you things to do and keep asking you with your mind to follow along, like you're singing your favorite song, some parts of this are your favorite, some parts of this are your not favorite songs, but you're singing along, joining the chorus, joining the synchrony of the flow of prana. The prana is represented in our body by the inflow of the breath and the outflow that has a vibration in the throat. And then we'll put that leg down. Hug the other knee to the chest. Keep the back of the neck long. Feel the bones that are attached to the earth. Feel them become heavy and stable. Every pose we do here should be two things: stable and easy. And then we'll take the hand and pull the knee across the body into a gentle twist. I use the word gentle a lot in my practice and my instructing. Gentle means that there's a feedback loop, that you start moving with the intention of like not going too far, but then your body has to interocept. That means the nerves within the joints and the bones and the muscles around the bones feedback into the mind, and then the brain and the central nervous system goes, is that too far? And it knows that because those nerves are saying pressure, pain, temperature. It can tell overstretched. So while we do want to feel a little discomfort, a little action, a little bit of an opening sensation, We don't want to feel any pain. That doesn't help anything. Let the hands down to the floor, then begin circling this knee around. When we feel pain, it's not just that it's a bad thing, like who likes it? It's not pleasant. It's not that. But when we sense pain, whether it's real or imagined, your body constricts and stops mobility in an effort to create a defense mechanism against any more pain. Become aware now of how the muscles around your abdomen are helping flow the energy of the stirring knee into the action of the digestive system. And then stop and go the other way. Maybe if you're okay and this is pretty easy for you, close your eyes. Prepare the mind body to move toward an emotional comfort zone. So imagine that this stirring of the leg and the nice ripple effect up the side of the back, imagine that it is comforting you. And then receive and accept that invitation to move toward an emotional comfort zone. Slowly come back to center. Hug both knees into the chest. That feels so good. Stirring that knee around. If you just can do the first 10, 15 minutes of this practice, it sets you up. For that steadiness and ease for the rest of your day. I want you to come up in a way that feels safe for you. For many of us, that means roll to the side and push off the floor. We'll come around to hands and knees. And then once you get there, let's just move from cat, that's where you arch the back, push the fingers and the tops of the feet into the floor, and then to cow, that's where you extend the spine, hollowing out the back, flipping the toes under and dragging the hands down into the floor. So cat, you're pushing as the back rises. Cow, you're pulling as the back sinks down. Remember, with the toes tucked under. So keep going now. Maybe close your eyes. And even though I just gave you a somewhat complex movement pattern, I want you to close your eyes and say to yourself, there is nothing to do. There is nothing to attain. I am where I need to be already. Begin to feel. Have a somatic experience. Somatic experience means that the sensations in the body are guiding your mental and emotional experience. So often we disconnect, we disassociate with the body, because for a lot of the things we need to do, the body isn't really relevant. Like we're talking and we're thinking and we're doing something more cerebral. So reconnect the mind. It might help to imagine what the joints, the spine is a joint of 30. or more. Bones and discs woven together with nerves and ligaments, and every muscle sort of hooks into the spine somehow. Ujjayi, exhale. Don't forget to push with the hands on the tops of the feet, or to pull with the hands and the underside of the toes. And then come back to a flat spine. So now just wag your tail. So you're moving at the waist. If you were to put your hand on your hip and your rib, they would get close to each other and then widen away. So from your mid back up to your head, there's no movement at all. So unlike the happiest of happy, excited dogs, you know, it's just the tail moving, not the whole body. Reacquainting you with these side waist muscles. So if I ask you to somatically experience, to have a internally emotional, comforting pose. Remember, that's what asana means. It's at the end of all the names of the poses. It means to take a comfortable seat, place, stay, hold, be stable and secure. And then push back into child's pose. This is where the hips drop down. The back does round, but not necessarily on purpose. We actually overstretch our low back because of the way chairs are shaped, and even not just chairs, but we tend to slump forward anyway and think all of our work is in front of us. Or if we want to pick something up in front of us, we typically round, which is not the quote unquote correct way. So try taking your knees out and letting the belly fall down between and towards the floor, so the back gets a little straighter. And by straighter, I mean, well, straight, not rounded. You don't have to get lower. That's not necessarily the point. So just lifting your head up isn't like fixing your low back. Your low back is really guided by your hips. So then crawl your way back up to hands and knees. This time, with the shoulders strong, lift one foot up off the floor, so bend one knee. Now what you're going to do is twist so that the foot goes out towards the side, and then twist so the foot crosses over the other calf, so it's out and in. Now, when your foot goes out, turn your head and your upper body and look to that foot. And then when you go the other way, you sort of look the other way. So now do let the whole body open up one side and the other. So you're making like a C shape, side. So think maybe more about hip to shoulder or shoulder to hip. It really has very little or nothing to do with your foot and your head. It's really hip to shoulder, hip to shoulder. Brace the lower belly as if there's a mesh or a basket, holding the skin and the stuff there, up and in. After 3, Ujjayi breaths. Exhale 2, inhale, and 1. We'll take that leg, the one you just had bent, and step it forward and through. So this is where I grab blocks, so that when I step one leg forward and through, my hands can reach. So everybody has different length arm to leg ratios. And I suppose if you just happen to have a really long arms, you probably wouldn't want these blocks at all, but you would feel it. It would feel weird having these blocks here. Make the sound of ujjayi. I'm going to hold this one longer. You may be like antsy to get started, to get going. But remember, yoga is the cessation of the whirling of the mind. So it's hard to do that when the body is going really, really fast. But sometimes a flow of the body is a good distraction. It brings the mind back into that synchrony. But I'm asking you to allow the breath to be the conductor of the mind's flow, the ups and the downs, the sound and the vibration. One more breath. Good. And then step back to hands and knees. Let's lift off and into downward dog by pressing the fingers down, tucking the toes under, and then levitating the hips up and back. So imagine that your hips are made of helium, that they're the lightest part. And because of that, they keep going up and back. So this is a really good image for downward dog because the higher and the further back you put the hips, the more the arms and the legs and the spine are going to sort of snap into alignment. Begin to tiptoe forward and then hang and forward fold. All right, let's hold here. Close your eyes. Breathe in, breathe out. Lowering, dismantling your defense mechanisms. So being upside down changes your internal experience. The purpose of the poses is to put the body in a safe, comfortable, steady position so that you can ask the mind to follow. Safe, comfortable, steady mind. And the ujjayi sort of rings the bell to vibrate energy patterns through, around, and from your body. Bend your knees and then roll all the way up. Let's interlace the hands behind the back and then let the arms and the hands sink down and down and down and down. Now, as they're going down and the shoulders are rolling back, the heart and the belly are going forward and up, forward and up, forward and up. So keep working on that. Keep the chin down slightly. I don't know, you're looking at the top of the wall at the ceiling. But relax your eyes, relax your mental gaze, receive the pose without criticism, without judgment, and breath by breath, without effort. Come back up. Bring the hands together at the heart. Take the energy from the heart. Inhale and sweep the arms down, out and up. And then swan dive. So reach the arms out, hinge at the hips, lifting the tailbone up so that the top of the pelvis spills forward and down. Now lift the shoulders up towards the ceiling and then drop them. Lift the shoulders, squeeze so that the shoulders go up to the ceiling and then drop them. Do that 3 or 4 more times. Lift, drop. Like a rag doll, like a marionette, I guess. It's been dropped. And then hold in the down position. Three or four more breaths. Let the vibrating quality of Ujjayi sort of scan through the body. And then move back to downward dog, walking the hands forward, stepping the feet back. It's all about equilibrium, equidistant, equanimity in sensation and space. And then come down to hands and knees. So cinch in the waist, strengthen around the shoulders. Lift the other foot up. Remember we bended the knee? And then this is where the foot goes out to the side and then across over the opposite calf. Do 2 or 3 like that. So you're probably leaning a little bit away from that knee so that your knee is not scrunching into the mat. Then get the upper body involved. So look to the foot, look to the foot. But make sure you're squeezing around the waist because we're trying to gain control around the belly, around the abdomen. The abdomen is almost like your second mind. So really, as your gut goes, your big mind goes. So we really do want a lot of mobility. We want to prepare a space there that can move, can change, can allow to generate the action that we need. At the same time, use your big brain, your conscious thinking mind to allow things to be as they are. Remember, this is shoulder to hip, shoulder to hip. So you're actively squeezing and crunching one side waist and then the other. 2, singing along with your breath. 1. Then we'll take that same leg and step it forward and through, using your blocks or not. To set up for low lunge, just remind yourself that you're looking for long, open lines from knee to knee. This hip is trying to sink down and forward so that if you were to paint a line, the hip would be the center point. Not below, but not bumped all the way up either. If it is up, that's okay. Square the hips. Make sure that one leg and the other leg are on like train tracks, that they're parallel, that you've not sort of crossed the streams. You want that, keep that open. Do lean forward, do open the chest. Try closing your eyes. Return your mental gaze to the internal experience, paying attention on purpose. Scan your pose and notice where there's pressure. We have many types of nerves. Some are just for pressure. They feel pressure. Some feel pain. The majority feel pain. Some feel temperature. Some can notice like stretching sensation. So notice pressure, like probably your back knee on the floor. Notice your hands and even out the pressure. So your abs should be feeling some pressure. They're trying to hold. Notice the front of your shoulders and the back of your shoulders so they're not crunched. Maybe you've softened up in the time we've been holding this pose. And if you're very flexible, you might find that you have like fallen all the way forward. Don't do that either. Keep some integrity, some holding, some uplifting. So you're equalizing pressures front and back, side to side, up and down, internally and externally. Inhale. Exhale. Open your eyes. Let's come around to a seat again. Kick one leg out straight, but the other leg, bring the foot to the floor. So before you do anything else, check that your pelvis is upright and not rolled back. When I said we overstretch, this is a big culprit, is that we have really tight hip muscles, so we wind up rolling backward. So if you can't be upright, use your hands to make sure, then walk this other leg out further, or even sit on a small like towel or blanket. Once you get there, interlace your hands around your shin and pull. Close your eyes so you can feel this happening. As you're pulling, you're sending all of those forces of the pulling up and telescoping the spine taller and taller and taller and taller, like infinitely high, like right out through the roof of your head, maybe up through the ceiling. Now notice your straight leg. In your mind, the foot is somewhat flexed back, but the leg is straight and the leg is neither tipped outward nor inward. Your foot, imagine your foot's up against a wall, so it's not like twisted or sickled one side or the other. Now relax your shoulders, so no more pulling. And then open your eyes. Take the same side elbow, bring it to the inside of this knee and push it out. So the knee is holding steady. And your inner thigh is probably stronger than, I guess this would be a little bit of your tricep and trapezius there. And shoulder rotator cuff, which is the purpose of this. Just push. That's all we're doing. We're not really twisting. We're not trying to get anything else done except wake up this rotator cuff muscle. Release that and then twist your chest towards that knee. Use your other hand to maybe wrap around the hand that you were just using. Push it down into the floor. Close your eyes and do that same thing. Telescope the spine up, up, up. Take a deep breath in, draw energy from the pool of the earth's energy. And exhale. And then open your eyes. Let's go over to the other side. So same thing as before, make sure that you're not leaning back. That's really, really important. And it's actually quite hard. I'm pretty flexible. And like my thigh is bumping into my belly here. Like I seem to have like a challenge. So I'm going to walk out further and I'm going to hold on to the back of my thigh. There, I feel like I'm making a good modification there. Here we go. Roll the shoulders back, pull with your arms. Close your eyes. And all of the forces of pulling, all of that energy is collaborating, coalescing around the base of the spine or maybe a little bit midway up the spine, and then causing the spine to grow up, up, up. Breathe in, breathe out. Then in your mind's eye, notice the straight leg and straighten it. The back of the leg attached to the floor, the foot pulled a little bit back, not twisted, not falling left or right. Notice the little micro movements. My leg always twists, I guess, inward. Like my foot always sort of curls down into itself. That's a defense mechanism that I've learned. Doesn't make sense, but it's what I do. So if I unfurl my defense mechanism, I may be able to feel my way in, without trying, to that safe emotional comfort zone. And then open your eyes. Taking the same side elbow to the inside of that knee, you might have to lean a little forward to get there. Push the elbow out. Remember, the knee is providing the resistance. This is also activating your abs. I didn't talk about that on the other side, but this is activating the abs. You might even do a little, push out and in, like let the knee create a little healthy movement there. If you're feeling that in the shoulder and the neck, maybe. I'm finding that the more I move, my neck, I have like constricted cervical discs, and if I work out and stuff, my muscles can get really tight and wind up pulling things, and I get bad nerve stuff. Release, twist, that is turned towards that other leg, other hand to the floor, push down to rise up. But the more I move, the more I actively contract and release my shoulder muscles, my rhomboid, that's the one between the shoulder blades, the better it feels. So not resting it, not holding it still has been the solution. Getting into every muscle, not just the favorite ones, and your muscles get patterns, just like you get a pattern of how you do things. One more deep breath down to the well of energy in the earth. And let it rise up with the exhale. Open your eyes. Let's roll all the way down to the back. Slowly unfurling the spine. And then come all the way into Shavasana. Let the legs and the arms fall open. Drop the chin. So what I'd like you to do for this Shavasana is feel the bones get heavier. Whatever you're resting on, wherever you are now, feel the thing that is supporting you. Just be in the body now. And however you feel, just let that feeling be. Don't judge, don't push, don't pull. Receive. without contracting. Make room for the energy to just flow. Stay fully present for yourself. Relax everything. Relax everywhere. And when your chattering mind disturbs, disrupts, and distracts, purposely accept in a friendly, non-judgmental way that it is trying to protect and help. It is just not needed here now. Here now, you are warm, you are safe, you are heavy, you are relaxed. Slowly inhale deep down into the belly, the abdomen, the ribs, the lungs, the chest. Hold your breath. Then just let it go. When it's time, inhale deeply again. And then just let it go. And then open your eyes. And then push up and off the floor. Come back. And up into Sukhasana. Bringing the hands together. Lengthening the spine from root to crown. Inhale and circle and stretch up. Exhale, circle the arms around. Bring the hands back into Anjali Mudra, where you and I bow together in peace. Namaste.